You have no history of ad spend. You have no history of a selling product. You have no history of product sales. And you want to go into this game and just win. You got two choices. Come back when you've sold it and you've got some money coming in, and then we can talk. Or let's look at this from a capital standpoint, and let's look at this at what we have to do here. You know, it's very interesting to understand the estimation of effort required to advertise and market yourself today, especially in 2025. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. You know, I've been running an ad agency, been in advertising for at least 18 plus years, and I can tell you that there are definitely significant indicators that are going to tell you whether or not really how your advertising is going to go. And so I really want to use this time in this video to explain to you what I've seen work, what I've seen haven't worked, what I see gets the job done, and what really creates problems. And so we're going to talk about that in today's video. So I haven't been doing too much content lately, but been working on some new technology, which is awesome. And so now we're going to get into it and have a conversation here. So here's the deal, okay? If you go around and you look at all of these other big scale influencers and guys in the marketplace that have built something, whether they bought followers or didn't, or if they spend a lot of advertising or they don't, you have to understand that every single person that is at that level, and I'm talking like major level, okay, they have had significant resources that they've had to invest into, and they had to understand and go through the trials and tribulations to scale something, okay? Look, a business, just because you open it, doesn't just happen, right? A business happens because you are out there actively selling and promoting, right? It's funny, I actually got a lead today that I asked him, he requested information off of one of my ads. It was really funny. And I sent my email and my first message to him just saying, hey, look, thanks for reaching out. I want to set up an intro call. Let's just learn a little bit about you. I want to help you. You know, let's see what we could do, guys. Like, I just want to know what your pricing is. And I said, well, I mean, I could tell you what the pricing is, but it may not be the right product for you. Like, I'm looking out for you. I'm trying to give you what you need right now, because I could tell you what the price is and I could tell you what the program costs are, but you may not understand what that program is. So we have to have a conversation. This person got really defensive and was just like, well, in my experience, if you won't tell me the price, I don't want to be sold. And I said to myself, wow, here is someone that seriously does not understand the estimation of effort required to build something. You want to sell a product to make sales and help people, but you don't want to have a conversation about a product that you might need, that you don't know you need, or you don't even know what you actually are asking for, right? And so again, this is a perfect example of estimation of effort when it comes to advertising, marketing, and branding. Like, you're going to have to look at, all right, how far do I want to go with this? Am I willing to sit down every day and endure making calls and making appointments and following up with leads? Am I willing to test and iterate my advertising campaigns? Do I have the financial wherewithal to do all of that? And look, you can make that happen even on a small budget, but there has to be senses of realistic expectations for yourself when you say, hey, I understand that I'm trying to build something that's never been built before. I don't even know if the market wants it. I can do surveys and I can kind of get an idea, and I can tailor my message the way that I need to be able to sell this product into the marketplace, but you just don't really know. And there's a lot of variables in building something with your face in your own company. And it's just, you've got competition. You've got guys that are spending millions of dollars in ads. There was a company that I was aware of that was in competition with a business that I know spends about $30 million a year in advertising. And I said, that guy's just going to outpace you always. You know, you're coming in at a budget at around $2,000, $3,000 a month. I'm not saying you're not going to sell clients off of that, but you're at what is that? That's a huge multiplier difference. 30 million versus 3,000, which is what, 2.5 million a month? The amount of reach, the amount of lead flow, the amount of system, the amount of infrastructure that goes into that is insane. And when you're just starting out, it's usually just you, or you've got a few people on your team, and you've got to have the right systems and processes involved in that. So look, I'm not saying this to block anyone who wants to start a company or who wants to advertise, but you have to get honest on what it is that you're confronting, okay? You're confronting an animal, a very large beast, a very large mountain. And when you go up that first mountain, there's another mountain behind it. And then you get to that mountain and there's another mountain behind that mountain. And it's just a never-ending gauntlet of that. And if you think you can withstand that, if you think you can take that, if you think you can do this, if you think you can handle that, then you're setting yourself up right, because you can get incredible rewards. You will have incredible experiences. It is not fair to think that within a very short period of time you could be ultra uber successful. I've never seen it happen. Maybe once or twice, but there was some sort of outlying significance there, whether it was a huge capital infusion to the individual or they knew someone who knew someone. That's really where I see it. And God bless you. If you could do that, fantastic. But the majority of people are trying to build something that they want to help people with. And you just have to take into that consideration and take into that account that there's going to be effort. There's going to be things you're going to have to do, okay? You're going to have to make the calls. You're going to have to set the appointments. You're going to have to deal with the rejection. You're going to have to deal with the rudeness of prospects. You know, you're going to have to deal with the disappointment, the rejection, the failure. And there's nothing wrong with those things. It's just a part of it. But if you think that it's just going to magically work, I think it's just a little bit of a mindset shift on that, okay? Especially with new companies. You're going into a space where other companies have already existed. You're going into a space where people are spending. They may have brand authority. They might have social proof already. They might have a long-standing brand. You have nothing. Or you have a little bit, but you never put into it. And so the purpose of this video is not to make someone feel like they can't do it or to discourage them. It's just, let's just talk about the reality of the situation. That's all it is. If your business right now is financially struggling and you want to put everything into advertising, I don't think that's a good idea. And you need to be open with an agency that you're going to talk to about that. Like, you need to have some capital to be able to withstand the duration of tests, iterations, changes. And so you got to understand that. And I think people don't talk about this in advertising. I think a lot of guys get shiny objects, shiny this, shiny that. And look, you can reach incredible heights, but there is a lot of effort that has to go into making that a reality, okay? Ad campaigns very rarely work the first time, especially if there's no history of ads in an ad account. If you've never run ads before, I mean, you got to find the winning campaign. Even with some of our AI technology, which cuts out a lot of that testing time, there's still testing. You know, it takes a lot of the guesswork out because we know, okay, historically, these are the guys that we know want this. We can communicate to them and advertise to them in that way. But also, there's tests. You got to spend it. You have to test it out. And people just want to bypass that. It's like the gym, okay? You want six-pack abs. You want to be super hot. You want to be fit. but you do not want to get on the Stairmaster for 40 minutes. You do not want to do 45-minute workout sessions and also cut out the sugar and train your mindset to be able to withstand the pain of that journey. You'll get there. I mean, I lost 65 pounds. That was not easy. It was painful. I love pizza. I love burgers. I love French fries. I love ice cream. I fucking love Krispy Kreme donuts, okay? But if I want to be fit and surf, I can't eat Krispy Kreme donuts all the time, okay? So I had to adjust and make the changes I need to. I was speaking to a friend who I met at an Aston Martin event. They buy and sell businesses. And the thing he told me was, the biggest problem we have are business owners or people in business who do not want to make the necessary lifestyle sacrifices financially in order to scale and sell the company. And I believe that. I think a lot out there is centered around, oh, that guy's a multi-millionaire. I could do that. I'm better than him. You might be smarter, but he might have something that he's done for 30 plus years to arrive at that point. A lot of these influencers that are successful, whether you like them or not, had built a business before they went to that, and they had the capital to be able to play in that space. And if your business is not functioning at a high level, I'm saying, if you're making money with the company and it's producing revenue, that's a good indicator, and you can start to explore small-time ad campaigns or brand awareness campaigns. But it is really unrealistic to look at a large-scale company and say, I'm going to beat that guy just because I think I'm smarter than him, or just because I think their product is trash. That's not enough of a USP to be able to take over market share. What I tell new businesses is, look, you have no history of ad spend. You have no history of a selling product. You have no history of product sales. And you want to go into this game and just win. You got two choices. Come back when you've sold it and you've got some money coming in, and then we can talk. Or let's look at this from a capital standpoint, and let's look at this at what we have to do here. We have to at least spend 6 to 12 months developing social proof for you in the marketplace. Just educational, small things that can actually help to sell the company. And if you're not willing to do cold calls to get business or knock on doors or meet with people or invest in that level of brand awareness, there's nothing that can help you. There's just nothing. If you're not financially ready to invest into it, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, but you've got to figure out a way to go generate revenue first. Then you can start playing with branding and all that. Now, if you have some capital to your disposal, you have to work with someone who's going to be honest with you about the estimation of effort it's going to take to win. Because you may not be profitable in the first 6 to 12 months. You may just be investing, and it might be painful. And that's why business is hard. If this was an easy game, everybody would run their own business. And I don't know where people get this concept that they could just do it and all of a sudden just win at it. Now, some companies can, some companies don't. But if you're one of the companies that isn't right now, that's okay. We just got to do some more work. All right? We just have to do work. And there's nothing wrong with work. There's nothing wrong with failure. There's nothing wrong with tests. There's nothing wrong with iterations. But you cannot slice and dice other people that are trying to help you, because you have the totally wrong viewpoint of what it's going to take. Guys that say, I love results. Yeah, everybody loves results. I mean, what are we really saying with that? Oh, I love results. Okay. Are you getting results now? Yeah, somewhat. I'm happy with it. So why are you talking to me? Why do you want to advertise if you're getting results? Obviously, you could do better. How do you know the history of your company? How truthful are you when you interview with an agency or someone? How truthful are you on what you actually did with your ad campaigns? How many tests did you do? How many different types of copy did you do? How many ads did you create? How many videos did you create? Did you create a brand at all? Or are you the guy that sits on the couch and just like, come to me, I want them to work with me? Sorry, newsflash, doesn't work. So, this is not a doom and gloom video, this is a reality video. And I can tell you that every single big scale influencer that's out there who has made it, whether you think they're a scam or not, has grinded through. They had to grind somewhere. They had to grind somewhere and they had to make money. And they had to do calls and they had to do the things and the tough work and the rejection and the loss of money and maybe the complete shutdown of a company and restarting again. They had to do that. They had to worry about, how am I going to make my payroll? How am I going to make my rent? How am I going to pay for all this? They had to go through that. And what makes you self-righteous enough to think that you don't have to experience any of those things? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're super lucky. Maybe you're just one of those lucky guys that they get the capital and the business just starts to flow. Or maybe you're someone that you just had to work for everything. I've had to work for everything and I still have to work. I still experience loss. I still experience rejection. Today, I've been doing sales for 14 years. And someone was like, I don't want to be sold. It's like, how? Selling is not a bad thing. It's a conversation. And if you like it, if it makes sense, you buy it. What are we doing here? But you want to sell your product, but you don't want to sell. The definition of insanity is what I just said there. So, I hope this kind of just gives you some clarity. I've been doing a lot of soul searching on a lot of different things. A lot of work's been going on behind the scenes. I'm going to work on becoming more communicative and sharing what I see more often. But I just want you to understand, you can do it. Just saddle up. Saddle up, because this is not for the weak. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for rainbows and unicorns. This is a reality check. And if you are so selfish that you can't see that, then you probably should not do any type of advertising or business at all. If you're someone that's willing to endure the years it's going to take to arrive, and just understand that everything is part of the process, you're a good guy, you're a good girl, and you're doing what you're supposed to do right now. If I could just relate to you on that front, then I'm doing a good job. But just set yourself up. Just understand what you're getting yourself into, and hopefully you'll get a little piece out of this video and be able to understand what you're actually confronting. All right? Thank you guys. We'll talk soon.